Hello and welcome to another unit-by-unit review on SkaredCast. Today, looking at the Drukhari Codex with our next elite choice, the Beastmaster. The wranglers of the beasts. The ones that whip them into submission and take them out on real space raids. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to the next SkaredCast tactical video. I am Skari, the fancy Archon, and we're here today continuing our chat on the elites section of the new Drukhari Codex. This has been an absolutely fantastic book to play with, discuss with you guys. Today we look at the next unit, the ubiquitous Beastmaster. So, if you're new to these little videos, sit down, get a cup of tea. First thing we talk about is we talk about the unit itself in terms of lore and who they are in the Drukhari Dark City lore. And the second part we talk about are the unit in-game, different tactical options and things like that. A huge shout out to all the Patreons. You guys get some exclusive videos and tactical content. The link is down below if you'd like to become a Patreon as well. So, Beastmasters. In the millennia since Comorra's founding, its sand-filled arenas have drunk the blood of millions. Each site has played host to countless spectacles of perversity and death as the Drukhari have worked their cruelties on hundreds of thousands of alien species, including their own. But there is one gladiatorial favorite that never fails in popularity, the wild hunts of the Beastmasters. The Beastmasters themselves are technically part of the witch cults. But even unmasked, Beastmasters have a natural ability to dominate all. The most senior of their number can subdue a rampant megasaur with little more than a baleful glare. So they control animals. They have this inherent, innate ability to communicate with beasts, which is pretty cool. When accompanying a space raid, Beastmasters gladly involve themselves in the business of bloodletting. They hover above the gore-spattered ground upon skyboards modified to automatically swoop around hazards, leaving the Beastmasters free to goad their charges into the fray with whip and lure. Only when the prey has been thoroughly butchered does a Beastmaster allow their slavering pets to devour the dead and dying. The arenas of the Dark City have played host to a broad variety of dangerous creatures, including blade-legged hell spiders, hyper-violent Bargeshi, and even captured Adeptus Astartes warriors. Only a handful of species have remained in continual use, however, their natural savagery making their ever-kill a spectacle worthy of the audience's attention. The largest of these perennial beasts is the Denorian Clawed Fiend. A Clawed Fiend enters a berserk state when it is wounded, its hex-valved hearts pumping vast quantities of blood to its muscles so it can eviscerate whatever creature injured it. The warp beasts, called the Chimera, are living proof of the Beastmaster's skill as a spirit hunter. Each Chimera, a denizen of the chaotic dimension known as the Empyrean, born from the stuff of a demon world. Of all the alien terrors employed by the Beastmasters, the Razorwing remains one of the most popular. These raptors are swift of wing enough to catch all but the quickest enemies, and they are possessed of an insatiable hunger for bone. Razorwings can pick apart whole squads of foes, falling upon them with razor-sharp feathers and beaks, stripping flesh from frame in a hurricane of frantic motion. A well-trained razorwing flock will parade their blood-slickened and skeletal prize around and above their masters before tearing it apart in one final savage feeding frenzy. The Beastmasters, controllers of the beasts. So, I really enjoy Beastmasters. If you've watched a few of the battle reports, you know I use Beastmasters in game. You're not going to see very many of them on the table, since you only really need one, maybe two, to essentially run with beast packs. And there's a couple of things that changed from the Index Drukhari to the Codex Drukhari, in which beasts don't really take any slots in the detachment. So this means that you know, they're not going to help you fill out a brigade, for example. And that will kind of limit their use. However, the Beastmaster has some cool options, is very versatile when combined with the beasts, and when we look at the beasts later in this series, the Clawed Fiend, the Chimera, the Razorwing Flock, which are the ones I described, you'll notice why it's important to bring a Beastmaster around. Or, in a Witch Cult, if you want to run a cheap Vanguard detachment with elite slots, they're a cheap elite choice to run in as well. So, what is a Beastmaster in game? A Beastmaster is one model. It's a single character model that is 2 power level. So nothing really crazy at that point. Essentially think a bit like a Helion. That's exactly what he is. So, the Beastmaster itself is a 12-inch move on his skyboard. He does fly. He has weapon skill and ballistic skill of 3, which is pretty standard for any sort of Drukhari unit, right? And he is 36 points. Nothing crazy. 36 points for a Beastmaster. They are toughness and strength 3, 3 wounds, 3 attacks, 7 leadership, and a 5+ armor save, which is their witch suit at 6+ plus a skyboard 5+. Pretty standard stuff. So what is he armed with? It's armed with an Agonizer, and the skyboard is equipped with Splinter Pods. That's it. An Agonizer and Splinter Pods. The Agonizer itself is 4 points to add on to the Beastmaster, so a basic Beastmaster is running you a total of 40 points for a 3 wounded model. Pretty hefty for one model. Now, it's about right for a minimal character. Of course, this character only has 3 wounds, not the 4 of your average buffing character. However, they are so useful that you kind of need them to run any sort of beast packs because of some of the special rules that we'll go over. So a Splinter Pod is free, just comes with the hoverboard, and a Splinter Pod that's 0 points. Is an 18-inch weapon with 2 shots, so it's assault 2 18-inch, poison, so it wounds anything that's not a vehicle on a 4+, and it's AP 0, damage 1. So 18 inches plus 12-inch range, that's a 30-inch range with just 2 shots hitting on 3s. Nothing to write home about, but can be handy in a pinch. Essentially, he has a ranged weapon. The Agonizer is a melee weapon that is strength poison, which means that it will wound anything that is not a vehicle on a 4+, and it is -2 AP 1 damage. That is their basic close combat weapon. No grenades, nothing like that. Close combat weapon, wounds on 4s, -2 AP, and the Splinter Pod. Does he have any options for additional weapons? No, he doesn't at all. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Abilities. Abilities for the Beastmaster include Power from Pain. This is your basic Drukhari rule that covers almost all the Drukhari units. Turn 1, 6+, ignore pain, so feel no pain, so ignore wounds on a 6+. Turn 2, can reroll advance and charge rolls. Turn 3, +1 to hit in close combat, so their 3 attacks hitting on 2s now in close combat. Turn 4, immune to morale, and turn 5, any enemy unit within 6 inches suffers a -1 morale. Pretty standard stuff for any Drukhari, really useful, especially the feel no pain is great. Rerolling charge ranges would be great as well. They also have combat drugs. like any witch cult unit, it means that you get to choose which combat drug, which could be an extra 2 inches of movement, an extra strength, an attack, a toughness, an extra 2 inches to their leadership as well. Which one do I prefer? Always the +2 leadership characteristic. And the reason why is because of the next special ability that they have, which is called Beastmaster. Beastmaster has a rule called Beastmaster. Pretty standard stuff. What does it do? You can reroll all hits of 1 for friendly Drukhari beast units while they're within 6 inches of this model. So, keep beasts nearby, they can reroll 1s in combat. Pretty handy. Friendly Drukhari beast units can use this model's leadership characteristic instead of their own whilst they're within 6 inches of him. In addition, if your army is battle-forged, you must include at least 1 beast unit for each Beastmaster, and the beast units do not take up slots in the detachment. This model can never have a warlord trait. So it's just a Beastmaster. He's just there to control the beasts. A couple of key things. 1, reroll 1s in combat for all beast units within 6 inches. Pretty standard stuff. Rule number 2, all units of beasts within 6 inches use this model's leadership. Now, beasts have a low leadership of 5 or 4 or 5. 4. They have leadership 4. All the beasts have leadership 4. Adding it to making it leadership 7 is huge, which is why I love the drug of +2 leadership. Making the Beastmaster leadership 9, this allows beasts to be leadership 9 and very rarely will run away. So the enemy has to try and kill the Beastmaster to really get at the beasts if it's a war of attrition, which is really neat. Okay, they also, if you take a Beastmaster, you have to take beasts. Pretty standard stuff. It just stops you from spamming Beastmasters for command points, essentially, is what it is. So, faction keywords. He's an Eldari Drukhari witch cult, which means he will benefit from witch cult obsessions. You know, we've had a whole series on the obsessions specifically for the Patreons, and which obsessions they are and which is the best and things like that, which is pretty cool. But they will benefit from the obsessions. They are a keyword character, infantry, have a skyboard, they fly, and are a Beastmaster. So, how do you use your Beastmaster in your Drukhari army? Have you used a Beastmaster and beasts or not? Which is your favorite instance of Beastmasters going into combat and stealing the day? Because they can also capture objectives, and they are a character, so they cannot be targeted unless they're the closest unit. One of my favorite choices is a Beastmaster and 9 to 12 Razorwing Flocks. It's a fantastic way of taking a unit that has a lot of wounds that will die, but can soak up spam, especially in an age now where Thousand Suns have long-range spam. They get into the way, they fly, they can tie up enemy tanks and enemy infantry movements, can block things. In an age of knights, they're beasts, not infantry, so the beast pack can surround a knight and stop it from falling back through them. So let me know what it is you think would be a fantastic use of the Beastmaster. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Make sure you stay tuned for more content. All the links down below. Like, share, subscribe, and may the Drukhari course go with you into the dark places that you don't want to tell people about. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Your secret is safe with me. Skari, the Fancy Archon, signing off. Until next time, Skari out.